Fantastic. Okay, how many variables are we looking for?
The annual Ofsted report released earlier this month shows a steady improvement in secondary school education, but a slowing progress in primaries. The report judges schools on the quality of teaching and learning, as well as pupil behaviours and safeguarding.
There's clearly no reason why Cambridge should be any worse than anywhere else in the country. Far from it. Cambridgeshire should be one of the leading lights, and so we would expect the proportion of good or better schools in Cambridgeshire to be at least in line with national.
Ofsted point to a discrepancy between exam results and the outcomes of their inspections. While students are getting good grades, Ofsted say secondary schools are not doing well in their inspections.
The actual results are quite impressive by and large. So the big picture is Cambridge secondary schools perform quite well. Now, their inspection outcomes are not as good as that. In fact, 2015, so going back just over a year, less than half of Cambridgeshire secondary schools were good or better. And that's pretty shocking.
One head teacher said money is a huge concern.
I think there is absolutely no question that that Cambridgeshire has traditionally been one of the most underfunded counties in the country. To make a link, or to not make the link between underfunding and school achievement, I think is wrong. Anybody needs to look at the Olympic team in the summer to recognise that money equals gold. Every school within Cambridge is doing the very best it can with the funds that it gets, and we are petitioning on a regular basis to try and ensure that the children in Cambridgeshire get a fair deal, because I don't believe they do at present.
But Ofsted say the issue of funding is not considered when carrying out inspections.
We apply the same framework, the same criteria for whether a school is good or better or less than good, and there's nothing in that criteria that says, but you're not doing so well because you're underfunded. Some of the great head teachers that are in the county, both in primary and secondary schools and academies, they are doing an excellent job without the same level of funding as schools elsewhere. So they have demonstrated that they can turn things around on the budget they're given.
And the focus is also on education for younger years in the region. While primary schools are still getting better, their progress is slower than in previous years.
We've seen a bit of a slowing of the results in primary schools in Cambridgeshire. So the inspection outcomes over the last 12 months in primary schools in Cambridgeshire have not been very strong. I think getting on towards 40% of schools were not judged good in the last 12 months.
And the school's inspectorate is urging local schools to ensure they're looking after pupils from disadvantaged families. They say a school's rating as good could be affected unless they demonstrate they're doing their best to help disadvantaged pupils perform better. Laura Hough, that's Cambridge.